Okay, this is Wicked Ridge Outdoors. Welcome to another podcast. This is our second podcast, and we're going to do a little bit of talking tonight, just back and forth. We're not going to take turns or anything. We're just going to talk and have a good time. Maybe you guys will like to listen, maybe not. If you do, cool, stick with us. We're going to talk about rifle season versus archery season, and it's going to be like not just personally for our seasons, but it's going to be like just what we think of it in general. So we can leave Braiden start off. What do you think? Like,
what would you rather hunt? Like, what do you have? Like, where do you get more enjoyment out of
me
hunting?
being young and everything, I'd rather do rifle because, you know, during archery season, it's kind of hit or miss with the deer. Like, it's either they're coming in close for in range or they're not. Rifle, you can shoot just about as far as you want as long as your gun's on for however many yards. I like rifle because I do a lot of driving deer and everything with my buddies and everything. And in rifle, I feel like you have a better chance of shooting a deer because once the shots go off and people walking through the woods, putting deer drives on, the deer are moving like crazy. So you have a better chance, I feel like, of shooting deer in rifle. Not only that, you have a better chance, obviously, because you can shoot way farther. And rifle, when it comes around rifle season, I just get pumped because hearing them shots go off in the woods makes me get like ready, up and going, like, oh, here they come, driving deer. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I do everything, archery, rifle, late season, but archery, I like it because it's quiet in the woods. You don't gotta worry about any other hunter like shooting right by you or anything. I mean, you do, but it's not like a loud bang, like don't scare off every freaking deer. And I just like rifle, honestly. Because I'm young, I drive deer, do this, that. Them shots going off. I love shooting the gun, feeling the kick. It just gets me going.
Yeah, but what about all the excitement when you have to get the deer in close?
Yeah, that's what I like.
That's the only thing. I mean,
the same thing happens in rifle. I mean, deer can come in just as close as a bow, but I mean, it's just when you hear that kaboom, it just gets me more excited than tunk.
Dude, I get pumped up when I'm sitting in the stand in archery season and I hear something like, you know, when you hunt long enough, like you can tell whether or not it's a squirrel or whether or not it's a deer if you've paid attention long enough. I mean, squirrels are like and then they'll stop. Like, you can just kind of tell
the difference between like a squirrel and a deer.
Yeah,
I don't know those.
and
sometimes.
like you're sitting there. Sometimes
because I'm in the stand and the squirrels will get going and they'll stop.
Yeah, sometimes
for a little
they'll
bit.
fool
I'm
you.
like, and they crunch.
Well, that's how you tell. Like, they'll go, stop, go, stop, and like if a deer's not spooked or anything, all you hear is like it'll be almost
slower.
like hearing somebody walk, but like you just hear them hooves hitting the leaves.
Personally, I like hunting archery better. I get more excitement. Like, it's not as cold. I feel like you also feel
that's
a lot
big
more,
thing too. Not as cold.
You get a lot more rewarding feeling out of shooting a deer with a bow than you will with a rifle. I mean, it's a little bit harder. Another good thing about archery season for me is that not as many people hunt it, so every land is not as pressured as it is in rifle because a lot more people go in rifle, obviously.
So true.
And another good thing I like about regular archery, like beginning archery season, is you get the tail end of the main rut. And
you mean in our first season?
Yeah, first
like
season.
Towards
archery.
the middle of the first
middle
season.
end. You get that rut, and the deer just moving like crazy. Just like a couple times. The only thing that sucks is that they get running and stuff, but they don't always commit. They're more interested in that doe than they are anything else.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes you grunt and try to get them to come in, and they
don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care about nothing.
Yeah. See, the one thing that happened to me though in rifle season is that I had a buck chasing these doe, and I just saw them out of the corner of my eye, right? And then all of a sudden I grunt a little bit, and this buck just comes chasing over because they think there's another buck in the area, and they don't want two bucks clashing. Like that buck, it's more of a dominance thing. They don't want another.
The does came over, or the buck came.
The buck came over. The doe. I just saw him out of the corner of my eyes. I saw a bunch of doe, so I'm like, okay, this is in the heat of the rut. So I'm like, okay, let me try to grunt and see if there's a buck over here. And all of a sudden, this big buck comes towards me, but he stayed about 45 yards away. So.
Was this archery?
Yeah, this was archery. This is archery.
I got you.
And he just didn't give me a shot. That was one of the times I had a really close call. He came in, he just didn't fully give me a close enough shot.
So you'd really prefer rifle over archery?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm with the way I hunt.
Just because
I'm always driving deer, so instead of deer coming to me, I'm going after them, and if they're running, I can shoot farther.
See, that's the thing though about like
it's kind of like they can call me the deer chaser or something like that. I mean, you can kill a deer just like you do in archery. You can wait till they come in close if you're in the stand, but normally I sit in the stand for a couple hours. If not, I get some buddies together and go drive deer. And
I think rifle is a good opportunity for people that didn't make it out so good in archery.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's a good opportunity for older hunters too. I mean, not just younger folks like yourself that go. Like I might turn a couple heads here and put a couple bad tastes in people's mouth, but like personally, I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but like people that drive deer, like I get it. Like I get why they're doing it, and they're just trying to get deer moving so everybody can get a shot, and it's a family thing, and it's like, but like to me, that does not seem very sporty. Like I'm not one to talk. Like I don't go on deer drives or anything, but like I know I'm not one to talk because I shot a buck this year with a rifle, but like I just feel like I'm not going to go as far as to say it's unsportsmanlike, but it's almost like it's unsporty in a way because like you can't I don't know, you can't pattern a deer good enough to where you could shoot them like sitting like, and then other people are going to be like, well, people that sit are morons because they don't want to go out and get off their butt and go chase deer around, like, and like you just have people arguing like back and forth, and like, but personally me, like you getting up and chasing deer around, like you're putting pressure on those deer, and yeah, you might get them moving and stuff, but I mean, what's really shooting deer is the goal, I guess. So I mean, next year.
Well, like me, I hunted archery heavy, and I had many opportunities, but too far.
Yeah, but you can't let yourself get discouraged.
Yeah, that's what. But I mean, I'm like, get fired up. All right, rifle, like shoot farther, do this, that. I know.
Well, that's kind of how I was too. I mean,
like,
I didn't.
That's my redemption. Like, let's go. Yeah. It's time to get on the horse.
Yeah, that's what I meant by
the deer ain't coming to me. I'm coming after them.
That's what I meant about good opportunities. Like that gives you opportunity to harvest a deer, just like me, and I did harvest a buck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it gives you that opportunity and stuff, but like just getting packed up with like 25 guys and going and hitting the mountains.
But
and
it's
stuff
fun
like,
though.
It is. I'm sure it would be. I've never really.
It is. If you get a group of guys that know what they're doing, and you know there's deer in there, it's gonna be fun because all you hear is boom, 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 and you're like looking around like, oh, where are they coming?
The one good thing about doing a deer drive is it gets the deer moving more.
And if you miss, you can just get right back on them and start laying lead. That's what I like.
Laying lead.
Just love it.
Yeah, well.
It's the heat of the moment, man. Like you see him running out across the field, well, boom, well, boom, well, boom, well, boom, until you're out of bullets, pretty much.
Yeah,
it's fun.
See, another good thing, like what I noticed more.
A lot of people kill a buck with a rifle, more like driving deer. Like them buck, if they're laying, but I mean like that, but if they're laying tight, the only way you're gonna get on them is if you're driving and you're pushing them out. And if you know what you're doing, like you got sitters, drivers, just coming right at. Pushing them
but
to
the same argument could be made that if you know what you're doing, that you don't need to do all that to shoot.
Well, it's not.
He's saying if you know what you're doing, if you're a deer driver and you know what you're
like
doing.
Like me,
but if you're a deer hunter and you know what you're doing, that you shouldn't have to go out with 25 guys to push for deer.
Yeah, but like me, I knew what I was doing. And I just
I'm not knocking guys that do it. People do it every year. People get together. They have traditions. They do stuff like that. I'm not knocking that. I don't want anybody to be cursing me out on this podcast. But what I'm saying is like you're saying, like if you get guys together that know what they're doing, standers and drivers and this, that, and the other thing, like it just makes me think, like, well, if you knew what you're doing in the woods to begin with, you wouldn't have to get 25 guys together.
Yeah, but it's not about what you know what you're doing. Like me, at least I know what I'm doing, but like I had opportunities. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't want to let an arrow fly and make a bad shot if I was going to kill his buck. It's not about not what. It's not about.
I know what you're trying to.
Yeah, but it's like not knowing what you're doing. Like some people just don't have the opportunities they do in rifle.
That's true.
Like that's what I meant. Like
the one thing I would have liked to maybe do a drive this year on the property I hunt, because I feel like the deer there when
they need the encouragement to get up.
Yeah, like they just don't move as well as they do in
archery. You gotta go to them.
I saw. In archery season, I saw 4 times the amount of deer I saw in rifle. I mean, it was crazy how many more deer I saw in rifle season.
You saw more in rifle than archery?
No, other way around. I saw a lot more in archery than I did in.
But it's like benefit of doubt. Not everyone gets as lucky. Not lucky, but not everyone.
Hey man,
I'm sure
none of us got lucky in archery season, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I know, but
I didn't get
I'm
lucky.
saying like I saw so many buck, and it just benefit of doubt. It's not my fault. It's the deer. I wouldn't say it's the deer's fault, but. Like, it's just Mother Nature, man. They just freaking weren't coming in close enough for me to shoot. And rifle season, it's time to come back.
But that's what I'm getting at. Like, rifle season, like, you could sit, like, you know how you sat in archery hunting? you could do the same thing with a rifle and have.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but that goes back to like what I said.
But what I'm saying is, you don't always have to go deer driving. Like, you know what I mean? Like with 8 or 10 guys. Like, you don't have to.
You get the deer moving more if they're running tight because it's colder and stuff. And like, it's not. I'm not dissing on anybody. I'm sure everyone knows what they're doing. That's hunting, obviously, because they got they're the one behind the gun or the bow. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's up
just
to
not
the
everyone
hunter.
has the opportunity to shoot one instead of going after the
whatever.
Instead of a deer coming up to you like an archery,
you
waiting for a clean shot. Yeah, you go up to the deer. Like, not everyone has the opportunity to shoot a nice one in archery. It's like benefit of the doubt, man. It's either they're coming in or they're going out.
We're kind of getting off on a little tangent here, but like okay, so back to the question at hand: archery versus rifle. And like I said, we can talk about it personally. We can talk about it not personally. Like you, obviously, you like rifle because it's more action. You get better opportunities to harvest a deer, and so on and so forth. You harvested a doe. You didn't get to harvest anything this year, and I was lucky. Well, yeah, you passed up on that buck, and I was lucky enough to harvest a buck, my first one in a long time. And that's where I'm saying, like, rifle gives you opportunities. I got an opportunity. I hope I didn't mess with the mic too much that time. But I got an opportunity. Zach had a couple opportunities, but he was big enough man to let it walk, maybe get it another year. So he was cool enough to judge up. And
I had opportunities in archery. I could have shot, but I didn't want to make a bad shot on the deer.
Oh yeah, that's how.
If I'm going to shoot this nice buck, I want to make a good clean shot and make sure.
And
it
that's
dies.
another thing. That's another thing too. Like with archery and stuff. Like just
be a lot careful with shot placement. It's not as forgiving.
It's so true. I mean, look at your dad. I mean, he accidentally hit a limb and stuff when he was shooting. Like, you got to. There's so many elements in archery season that you have to take into consideration, which is one of the reasons why I prefer archery, only because the skill that it takes to do an archery hunt.
A little bit more of a challenge. And
it's just a little.
I'm not going to get you wrong. I mean, rifle's fun.
I'm not passing up rifle. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Archery though is nice to kill a deer. I killed deer in both seasons. I killed a deer with a bow and killed a deer with a rifle. We have the recovery of your first ever archery doe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could have shot a doe and buck. I just let it pass. Archery season for me is more of like, I want to kill a buck because that would be an awesome.
That's kind of me too. Kind of.
I had a nice one in front of me. It's just that brush. I mean,
but if I had the opportunity,
but that's where rifle comes in though.
Yeah.
If I could have shot through the brush and killed that big buck. Benefit of the doubt.
This might be a little bit of a hot take here. I might get some criticism for saying this one, but I almost think that they should have a season where it's just archery and you like the crossbow.
Oh, that's another podcast, buddy.
I know. I'm
talking about the Pennsylvania Game Commission's seasons and bag limits and stuff like that. That is a totally different podcast. We could talk about that for hours. What they should do, what they shouldn't do, what they should allow, how long a season should run.
Yeah. We shouldn't talk about that though, because we can't change it though. You know what I mean?
We could talk about it in another podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe not particularly this one, but no, I agree with you. They should do certain changes and stuff.
It's just benefit of the doubt between both seasons. They're both competitive and both hard. It's
to me though.
I always get
nothing beat. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say one thing that always gets me going is that people. And I'm not. This is obviously good for people who only go out a couple times a year. The thing is, like, if you're somebody who doesn't hunt archery,
are you going to talk about your pet peeve?
Well, it's not necessarily It's people.
Well, tell them your pet peeve real quick to get it into context a little bit.
One of the things that irritated me a little bit is people who go out and shoot one who hunt once a year go out.
It's probably every hunter, anyone that's listening to this right now. It's probably anyone's pet peeve. Like that one guy that who doesn't go hunt, or girl, whoever, that goes out once, twice a year. That's all they go, and then they shoot a monster.
Big, but the thing is, the reason why a lot of people end up doing that is because normally they're not archery hunters, and their land that they hunt isn't pressured for the rifle season. Because I feel like that's one of the reasons why I didn't see as many buck as I did in archery and rifle. Because my land is a little bit more pressured because we hunt so much because I hunted so much in the archery season.
I wonder how
then by the time it gets into the rifle season, everything's pressured already.
I wonder how that'd be if we had our own land and be like, all right, boys, this one season's the only season we're hunting. I feel like we'd shoot way more. But if we all hunt archery and rifle, like if we hunted that, pressured.
Well, if it was just,
you're gonna know what's up.
Are we just talking, but theoretically right now?
Yeah, but like if
it was just us three,
just us. Like, all right, listen, we
like
know
just you, me, and
we don't want to pressure our land this year. Let's just pick one season out of the year and let's hunt it hard. Just that one season. Maybe let the first season go and let everyone else push deer onto our land, let it go. Rifle comes around, let's hunt that rifle season hard. And I guarantee you we'd shoot more.
Vice versa, too. Like if you want
vice versa.
There's so many freaking variables that come into that, though. Like,
that's why
how much land are we going to have? Like, who's all going to be on it? If it's just us three, for sure, yeah, that would be cool. But, like, so many variables. Like, how much land is it? Where's the land?
Well, I hunt land.
I
hunt land that, like, no one hunts besides maybe, like, 5 people.
But what about
there's still a lot of people on one land.
But it's so many acres.
Yeah.
And there's...
Yeah.
Well, what about the...
And it's only rifle season. It's like that. They only hunt rifle, pretty much, because it's all far shooting.
Yeah, but do you know any of the neighboring properties?
That's what
a couple, but they're like, it's way out. It's a big farm. But I'm saying, like, there's like 5 people, and they only hunt rifle. I went there a couple times with my bow, but, I mean, that's not going to hurt anything with that big of acres.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
But, like, they all hunt rifle, and guy shot a buck. I went out, and I guarantee you I saw over 30 deer, I swear.
In archery season?
Rifle.
Oh.
With my...
Yeah.
Oh, even... Archery, I saw a deer like crazy, but it's all far shooting. I never had a shot. That's what I'm saying.
I almost feel like that gap in between rifle season, or archery season and rifle season, I almost feel like sometimes the deer change up their patterns a lot, and that's one of the reasons why guys don't always shoot in rifle, because obviously the deer aren't going to be using the same patterns they would during late, like the rut. They change up their well,
they have to change up their patterns. They got the Orange Army after them.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's going to be... Well,
now it's like hit the deck, watch out. We're going to be in flintlock season.
Flintlock?
Yeah.
Flintlock.
Well, I know, bud. They jokingly
Flinch,
call
because
the powder flash.
I never shot one like that. I'm more of a late season archery guy.
Yeah, that's coming up in late season archery. I feel like it's going to come. The thing about late season archery is that the deer almost are completely bedded down most of the day, and the only time they're really up and
then you're sitting in a tree stand.
Yeah, shivering real bad.
Because it's like -2 with the wind chill, and like you're like, okay, come on, deer.
Yeah.
But honestly, another thing, people that kill a nice buck in archery too, they got if they I use a compound. I switched it up. I sold my crossbow. But if I had a crossbow, those opportunities, I could have killed them.
That's what I mean. That's why I started.
It's like it's hit or miss. You take the crossbow out,
you can get a crossbow that shoots 70, 80 yards. And that's 50 more yards
and that's
than most
another,
people shoot
that's
with
another huge
I'm not dissing on anybody. Whoever
that's what I was starting to get into there, talking about bow and crossbow.
I try to stay away from that topic as much as I can. Well, it used to be that disabled people could use them and stuff, and like that's fine. Like that's 100%.
Older guys.
Yeah, that's 100% cool.
Yeah, they're still kicking the hunt.
But then they made it legal for everyone to use, and I understand the concept of people not having time to take out their bow and practice regularly, so they get a crossbow, and it's just more opportunities for them to go out with a crossbow because all they got to do is sight it in like a gun, and it's super easy, and they don't got to practice that much with it. There's not much time and effort that goes put into it. You cock it back and you shoot it, and that's how you do it. You don't have to practice for hours and hours.
It's almost like a mini rifle.
In a sense, yeah.
But yeah, well, I mean,
shoot a lot faster than a bow.
Crossbow, whatever. If you're archery.
Now, I wouldn't be opposed to the idea of being able to use a crossbow in late season.
You can
like,
use them. Oh yeah.
Whether you're straight,
honestly, that's probably what I'll end up doing in late season. I mean, if you're hunting late season and you still don't have a deer down, it's almost in desperation.
Oh, it's brown.
Yeah, but
if it's brown, it's downtime.
Whether you're an archery hunter or a rifle hunter or you're both, I don't want to diss on anybody. I'm glad that everyone's going out hunting.
Well, I hope you don't diss on anyone because you're both of them.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm saying, like good for them. Like they're going out every season.
Oh yeah, like definitely opportunities to get out in the outdoors.
Time in, that's good.
And that's another thing that we have to take into consideration. We could sit here all day and talk about the do's and the don'ts and the you shoulds and you should nots and stuff like that with rifle season or archery season, whether or not crossbows should be allowed or whether or not they should have a 2-week doe season like we did this first year. Like we could sit there and debate it all, but the heart of the matter is it's outdoorsmen getting to be in the outdoors and enjoying the outdoors that is provided.
Yeah, I don't care what they change this year. It's still hunting season. Like that's what I like.
And it's conservation too. I mean, it might be a little bit overkill with the double week doe season, but
it's hunting season though.
Yeah, I heard double the shots first morning than I normally do first morning because people are able to shoot doe now. And that's another thing. I have a place where I hunt mainly for doe, and then a place where it's more of a buck spot. They're two different tags. So one's 4C and one's 4D. So I can go to my buck property where I normally would hunt for buck, but I can't shoot a doe there because it's a different tag.
Mm-hmm.
So it sucks because like you get like this in rifle season. I mean, one of the first days I was out this year, I had a nice big doe.
I mean, it's kind of weird though, like how they want to do like RWMU and like that, like where you go WMU. Like it's just so weird how they have it marked off.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying, dude. That's crazy.
Like I had a doe this year in rifle season about 15 yards, like second day.
Where you didn't have a doe tag.
Yeah, I didn't have a doe tag for it. And it was a pretty nice doe. I had a 15 yards broadside. It was. Just couldn't shoot it because, it's...
You didn't have a doe tag for that area.
Exactly.
Or that wildlife management unit. Is that what that's a WMD,
Defenses
right?
thing?
No. WMD, like we're 4D and like other... You know what I'm talking...
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as far as getting back to the question, Braiden would rather have rifle. What would you rather be?
I mean, I do like rifle season, and I obviously... If you see the deer in rifle season, you have a better shot of shooting them. But I mean, honestly, if I had to pick between one or the other, I'd have to say archery, just because this year I saw so many more deer in archery season.
I tell you one thing that you can't argue with me about, Braiden. You tell me this isn't perfect. Getting up in like late October, early November, getting in the tree stand, all the leaves are changing.
Yeah.
Sitting there listening to the woods come alive.
Yeah,
like,
that's nice.
your
It's
bow,
not as
like,
cold either, but I mean, I warm up during rifle season because I'm always walking.
Yeah.
I'm always going after them. They call me the deer chaser.
I almost, this year when I was rifle hunting, I completely switched up how I did it. Like, right at the end of the season there, I completely flipped about where I was hunting. Right in like the beginning and the middle of rifle season, I was sticking to the woods. Like I was hunting pretty much all woods. I wasn't really hunting in the fields. Then like when I was walking out of my tree stand, walking by the fields, I would see like 15 deer in there at night. Like when it's too dark, it's obviously when you're walking out of the tree stand, it's obviously too dark to tell what they are, but you can still see the silhouettes of the deer. So I kind of switched up here right at the end of rifle season and started hunting the fields all day. And I was shocked. I saw way more deer. And sitting in the fields.
Yeah, they all come out at the field at night to feed.
Every time I've hunted in the fields this year, I've seen deer. So, the first time, I only hunted a couple times. The one day I didn't see anything.
You should have shot that buck that you saw.
I know.
A buck now is this whole year's messed up. So, I mean, it would have been meat in the freezer. And
but next year, if he's
still exciting,
that might be a bigger buck.
Yeah.
It's still
possibly.
It's still there. Someone can get it in late.
Yeah, just like later. I know where
deer
he
don't
is.
stay in one place.
You could go shoot him in late season.
That's what I mean. I know where he is. I know where he's coming out of the woods at. I know everything about where that buck is.
So if deer don't stay in one place.
Well, for the most part they do.
And especially if rut hits, they're gonna do anything.
Well,
the second rut I think is winding down.
Yeah.
What is it? December 14th.
Yeah, it's definitely winding down now, but. Like I said,
I do like late season though with the snow. I don't care how cold it is. It's nice.
Yeah, but it doesn't always snow in late season.
No, but I mean when it does, it's nice.
You can always see the deer at least in the snow.
I just think it's crazy how much deer hunting changes from first day archery to last day of extended archery. It's crazy how different it is, and it's just
definitely. It's
completely different.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean you got. First season archery, you got all the green leaves still.
I gotta shoot my bow again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing. Now that we're coming up on extended archery,
I have a doe tag left, so I could probably go out for that.
I have.
Well, even if you don't, you can shoot another doe with your buck tag.
Honestly, this year I just haven't.
I'm pretty sure.
You mean another?
In late season, you can use your buck tag. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like if you didn't shoot a buck, its last couple days.
Yeah, antlered or flintlock tag. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah, you can use a buck tag.
So I could shoot another doe if I don't see a buck, but I don't want to wait for a buck.
Oh yeah.
In late season, you got to be worried about I don't know how early. Well, I know for a fact, my dad shot a buck many years ago with a flintlock. He was hunting late season. It was like one of the last days. He only had one side of his horns because they were starting to lose them.
Oh
yeah.
Do you imagine how mad you would be if you
shoot a deer and horns fall off?
That actually happened to one of my buddies before. He shot a buck, and this was also in rifle season. His horns must have been getting loose or something because he hit a tree and knocked his whole side of his antler off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could have shot Elliot this year.
Elliot off open season.
Yeah, he was looking at me with one little horn. Not one, but one side of his horns.
Where your brother got a spike, didn't he?
Yeah, my brother. Yeah, listen to this story. Freaking, I just got done shooting a doe, and we drug it back to the truck, got it out of the tractor bucket. Not even 5 minutes later, a little spiky. I saw him probably...
Was that the same spiky
Yeah,
that
I got it on video.
Yeah.
He came like 15 yards from me. I was just behind a little skinny tree and he didn't get spooked. 5 minutes after we got done dragging mine back to my truck, freaking spiky stands up there. And I'm like, I look at my brother, I'm like, listen, this is your opportunity. Your old 357 Marlin ain't going to reach that far, buddy. I said, this is your opportunity to shoot one. He goes, fine, I'll do it. So I hand my dad my gun. He goes, sets up. And my dad goes, all right, get your gun on him. And whenever I say go, shoot. Not even before he says go. When my dad goes, are you ready? He didn't even finish saying ready. Kaboom! Drops the deer. My brother's like, ah! Ah! And then he gets all excited when he saw the deer drop. But yeah, he shot that deer at 210 yards up in the field.
That's pretty nice.
First time shooting a big rifle.
That's cool.
He got it.
I was back to the deer that I passed up on this year. I'll put it up on screen now for you guys to see if the buck that I passed up on. The only reason I passed up on him, I mean, his one side of he had a one nice side that was a nice. I mean, it wasn't huge by any means, but it was nice. The other side though it only had two main side points there, and it was all beat up. So I had him there for about 10 minutes of footage of him, and I was back and forth. I was like, do I shoot this deer or do I just wait for extended archery? And I mean, I was back and forth.
I would shoot him.
So much for that.
So sitting here now, are you glad that you made the decision to pass, or would you
I am
wish
because now I feel like I've had so many opportunities this year, and I feel like I'm just bound for something to happen. Like I feel like maybe in extended archery I might have a chance to shoot something. I mean, even if that buck comes back in extended archery a couple days in, I'll tag it. But
man, I should have got you. Well, I should have got you involved in. You remember Jim? You remember Big Jim Reed?
Yeah.
He started a Big Bone Club. It was pretty cool. Like he started this little thing. It's pretty neat. Like everyone that shoots a buck or whatever, he gets a guy to score him, and like he has a banquet and stuff. Like I should have said something to you guys. Like I know you guys didn't shoot a buck. I'm not rubbing it in. I'm just saying like it would have been cool to be a part of that. Well, you guys could probably still come. I don't know if you'd be allowed to come or not. But that's a possibility, yeah. We got a Facebook group, and he's got a Facebook group and everything.
Did you get your score back from your deer?
No, I didn't even get mine score. It's probably like not even...
Maybe like 100.
If.
Yeah.
Because he broke off that side.
Oh, yeah. If your buck had all the... If his antlers weren't rubbed down his one side, that would have been a beautiful buck.
So we can all agree that we love archery season, but... I prefer archery season. He prefers archery season. He prefers rifle. But archery season's fun. It's awesome. And rifle is a good spot to get opportunities that you didn't get to have in rifle or archery. Here she is. Just a little. I got a European mount. And then here's the old shell that put her down. You see how this side's broken off pretty good. He must have been a fighter. I mean, they're snapped off like if you took it and just snapped it off. But I think that wraps up this podcast. How about you?
Yeah. So guys, before you click off this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the post notifications so you get alerts every time that we post a video. Mm-hmm. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave a follow there, leave a like, and we'll work your video outdoors, and we'll see you next time.